Hey guys, my name is Jackie Lowe, and today I want to talk about immigration. It's been a hot button issue since forever, and especially since the election of Donald Trump, the travel bans, the protests that happened at airports, the discussion of refugee immigrants, and I do want to focus on that a little, but I want the major focus for, at least for my conversation today, to be about something called the Millionaire Migration. So within the last year, we've had 82,000 immigrants, millionaire immigrants, flood into different countries, okay? That's a 60% increase since the year of 2013. In the United States, we actually have a program called the FB5 program. And for $500,000, pretty much anyone from another country can buy their golden ticket visa to the United States. Do I think that that is acceptable? No, not at all. And it's not just the United States that's doing it. We've got Australia and Canada doing this as well. I haven't checked into any other countries, but that's enough to have a conversation. So on the subject of, what immigrants do we let here? I don't think it's 100%. We're all a country of immigrants. The only people that weren't immigrants here originally were the Native Americans. So it'd be hypocritical for us to not allow certain immigrants into the United States. That's what's built our nation. Do I think that that should be based on merit or refugee status? Yeah, and that brings me to another point. If we let every single refugee into the United States, it would break. So how then do we decide which refugees get to be let in? If we look at our global starvation rate, I would think that everyone starving to death in another country would be considered for immigration status into the United States before the migrating millionaires. Because if they would take their money, the migrating millionaires, stay in their own country and build up their own economies, perhaps we wouldn't have so many problems as we do now. We need to, as a collective, as a country, start thinking about the way money's coming in, the way it's pouring out. We need to have more frank discussions about socioeconomic class status and money in general. And so while the mainstream news media outlets have us all divided, Fox versus CNN, as a public, while all that's happening, we're stopped from having a united front. And in my belief, it's mostly because of these divisive conversations about race, gender, feminism. We've beaten the oppression privilege pie chart into the ground, and it's time for us to move forward into a more progressive discussion. One of the things that holds us all together is the conversation about money. We're not part of the 1%. Most of us aren't a part of the migrating millionaire bundle, okay? And so when we talk about white privilege 24/7, it divides us. That's why we've got middle America and the southern states divided against the East Coast, basically metropolitan cities, Los Angeles, like where I'm from. Okay? When we make it so that white people seem like they're, or poor white people are deplorables, or they're ignorant, or when we attack them for their literacy or their bland cultural practices, when we do these things, we infuriate others. We create, impassioned rants instead of having progressive discussions. When we beat, this whole white guilt thing into the conversation, we get insincere self-criticism. We get performative allyship. We don't move forward. We create whispers and hushes instead of frank and open discussions. And we don't move forward. So I think it's really important to note that we've got a bunch of millionaires flooding into our country before we even let the refugees we want to argue about have a chance to be here. Maybe if we would give up some of those spaces for the people who want to come here based on their merit or based on the suffering they're experiencing in theirs, we would get a lot further. But that's not the conversation that we're having. And so we remain a divided public. And I hope that just by bringing this up, we can maybe sort of spark some kind of discussion about that will lead us in the right direction. A conversation about money. I want to sit here and talk about environmental politics all day long, because I super care about the plants, the birds, and the bees. But we got to get this down first. We got to talk about this. Okay? Thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate all the private and public feedback. It super helps me in making these videos in the future, and I hope you guys, dug it. Jackie Lowe, thank you guys. Take care.